Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth, the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank have inspired me. I hope they can inspire you as well. I will have links below this video to their sites. They are Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anava, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rav Daniel Asore, Nisan Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skoback, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Usher, and Rabbi Yaron Reuven. And also, if you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link below this video to my first video, which explains what M.L.M for the soul means, what it stands for, and what I am doing. So last week's video was from this nice book that I like called Praying with Fire by Rabbi Heshy Kleinman. It's from the Artscroll series, and I will have a link below to the Artscroll website so you can check out all they offer. So I wanted to continue here in their kind of introductory little sections they have, because they're just really interesting. So this one is the foreword by Rabbi Yisrael Reisman, and it's continuing, and I'm just going to read straight from here because it's just really good information. So I'm not sure what the title will be, but you'll find that out, I guess, when I post the video. So this section is called Why Pray? So for most people, prayer is an opportunity to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for things which they need. We call this Bakashas Tzarachim, asking for the things we need. There's another dimension to prayer. When a person prays to Hashem, he recognizes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of all blessings. This recognition is fundamental to our faith in Hashem as an active ruler of the universe. The more we pray, the more we incorporate this belief into our psyche. We call this avoda, service of Hashem. As we study prayer, we can find many clues to these two aspects of prayer. Gemara teaches that our prayers are modeled after the prayers of our avos, tfilos avos tiknum. We are also told that they are modeled after the service in the Beis Hamikdash, neged timidim tiknum. Although the Gemara appears to bring these as two competing views, the Rambam accepts them both. In fact, each represents one of the two dimensions of prayer. So avos tiknum refers to the request of our avos, and bakashas tzarachim, part of the prayer. And neged timidim tiknum is clearly a reference to the avoda aspect. So the Rambam cites the biblical verse, avodo b'chol levavchem, to serve Him with all your heart, of course meaning Hashem, as a source for our prayer obligation. The Ramban offers a different source, ki se lemilchama o al ovecha u, sorry, it's an English transliteration, u sekatem bechatzot shot. When you go out to battle after your enemies, blow your trumpets as a call to prayer. So here again we have two verses that mirror the two aspects of prayer. To serve Him with all your heart is a clear reference to the avoda aspect, and when you go out to battle, clearly refer to the bakashas tzarachim. So why pray for everything? So there are basic differences between these two reasons for prayer. If bakashas tzarachim was the sole purpose of prayer, it would hardly make sense to require that a person ask for everything. A person should be permitted to choose those brachos which contain the request for which he wishes to pray on any given day. It makes sense, right? So yet the middle brachos of Shemona Esrei contain requests for virtually all of a person's needs. The poskim rule that if a person misses any of these brachos, he has not satisfied his prayer obligation. Brachos ma'avos zu ezu. Why should this invalidate prayer? If prayer were solely request from Hashem, which is bakashas tzarachim, it is difficult to see why we are required to ask for everything. However, the second aspect, the avoda part, uses prayer to reinforce our faith, requiring us to recognize Hashem's control over these things for which we ask. So thus we can understand why the requirement to pray for all of our needs should cover every aspect of our lives. This explains why we pray for everything, strengthening the avoda in all areas of our lives. In fact, the Satmar Rebbe in Divrei Yoel teaches that during the time that the Beis Hamikdash stood, a person was not required to mention all the brachos of the Shemona Esrei. At that time, the avoda was in the Beis Hamikdash. This left only the bakashas tzarachim aspect of prayer, which does not require that every bracha be mentioned. So this enables us to understand the Gemara's statement that the order of the middle brachos, which was originally formulated by the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah centuries earlier, was forgotten and had to be reformulated after the Churban. It seems difficult to understand how the Shemona Esrei prayer could be forgotten if it was uttered by Jews every day. In fact, the order was forgotten precisely because it was not used during the time the Beis Hamikdash stood. So since they didn't use it, it's tended to, people tended to forget it, I guess. So here, next section is called A Deeper Look. So this insight enables us to explain another difficulty in the laws of prayer. If a person finds that his mind is strayed during his prayers to the point that he does not recall which bracha he has recited, how should he continue? This is important to know. Chaye Adam rules that he may continue only from the bracha which he is certain that he had not recited. If he is in doubt regarding any bracha, he may not recite it because he would be risking a bracha levatala, which is a wasted bracha. So So the Steipler Gaon expresses amazement at this ruling. Indeed, our primary concern should be to avoid the risk of a bracha levatala. However, since the Shulchan Aruch rules that if a person misses any one of the brachas, he has not satisfied his prayer obligation. It would be prudent to ensure that every bracha is said, so you avoid potentially 18 brachas levatala. It would therefore follow that the person should recite every bracha which he may have missed. Although this risks an individual bracha levatala, it avoids the greater risk of invalidating the entire prayer. So given our understanding of the dual parts of prayer, the ruling of the Chai Adam can be explained. It is true that if one bracha is missing, the individual has not satisfied his prayer requirement. As explained, this is a failure in the avoda aspect of prayer. Still, this does not render the rest of the Shemona Esrei as wasted brachos. The prayer, even when missing a bracha, satisfies the Bakashas Tzarachim aspect, which is similar to the prayers during the Beis HaMikdash era, and are not brachos levatala. There is an additional source of this insight from the surprising ruling of the Mishnah Berurah, that a person who is traveling and has no sitter may recite the Shemona Esrei by heart as best he can, even if he knows he will not remember every bracha. Clearly, the Mishnah Berurah does not view an incomplete Shemona Esrei as a series of bracha levatala. So you still would say Shemona Esrei even if you don't know every bracha, because it's still important to do. Next section is called Your Prayers, the last section here. Given this understanding of prayer, the language of Shemona Esrei takes on a new meaning. In fact, if you pay attention as you pray, you will find the dual aspect of prayer in the language of virtually all the brachos of Shemona Esrei. For example, in our prayers for healing, we start with Bakashas Tzarachim, heal us. Then we add, for you, our God, the King, the faithful healer, a statement of faith in Hashem, the avoda aspect. This form of bracha holds true for almost every one of the middle brachos of Shemona Esrei. As you follow the language of your prayer, you will find that this newfound insight gives you focus. Look for it as you daven, and the prayers will take on greater meaning. You will find that the more you understand davening, the easier it will be to have kavanah when you pray. So prayer may be the service of your heart, but it cannot succeed without the input of your mind. The more we understand the fundamentals of prayer, the more we apply ourselves to understanding prayer, the more we will succeed in prayer, which is the most important part, is succeeding. So let's see. Now they're just talking something here that's not important. So he ends up saying, "My HaKadosh Baruch Hu grant us the wisdom and insight to make the most of our davening by instilling all this information into us. Especially if you get this book, you will definitely be able to do that. So I hope and pray that our prayers will all help us merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days and the rebuilding of our final everlasting Beis HaMikdash. Amen. And thanks for watching."